So how should we start? How can I help? Struggling? Okay, share more.
Just a lot is coming up. Everything is I'm saying that I've been struggling a lot, and a lot of things are coming up. All kinds of temptations and all kinds of wanting things to be a particular way. Everything like it just feeling like a fight, and I'm seeing that how I'm like 1 minute I'm praying to God and I'm like at His feet, and I feel like I'm at His feet, and then again I'll go into some, the switch over happens, and I only do it.
So you're feeling that the time that you're spending with your mind is more than the time you're spending with God, basically. And you're also noticing very beautifully that He does not leave. I am the one that leaves. You see, I don't feel like it has ever happened that anyone has come to His light, His presence, and He said, "I'm done with you, I'm going." It's we who decide to leave that presence because of, like you said, the temptation. And a lot of the temptation has to do with our individual will. Like, what do we want? You see? Because staying in God's light, you have to let go of your individual will, your individual thought pattern in terms of where your life should go. And that can feel a bit uncomfortable. And when the mind comes with the temptation to say that, but you have to do this or this has to go this way, then you get involved in personhood and you latch on to that idea. Now, the only solution is to remember that the level at which the problem is, the solution does not exist at that level. So, whatever mechanics may go on in our heads, remember that the only solution is to return to your heart, to return to His light. No matter what, the mind will try to tell you, no, but you have to prove yourself right about something. No, but what about this situation? What about relationship, money, body, same thing. So all of these things, but we have to leave that what about stuff and return to His perfume, His presence, His living light. So in remaining in that light, is there a particular temptation that pulls you out most often, or what is it?
Yeah.
It's a particular thought pattern. It's about
Like of late in the last 1 week, it's just been like a lot of emotional turmoil. Just all kinds of emotions. Like I don't even, sometimes it's not even like I'm just feeling.
So, do emotions cause emotional turmoil? Let's look, because we can feel that these emotions are coming up, and therefore I'm in turmoil. But try to imagine the strongest tsunami of emotion and see if in the emotion turmoil is contained. So suppose a lot of emotion came, anger came, greed came, lust came, all these emotions came. See? So how does that become turmoil?
Yeah, it's like a fight of the thoughts, like it's more like.
Yes. So some narrative has to start, some story has to be created, for that the appearance of these sensations to feel like a turmoil. See, all that has to start. Also, as we remain in God's presence, most of these emotional appearances don't seem that heavy and difficult. So we already must be in a fertile territory for this sort of emotional upheaval to seem like a turmoil. Fertile territory in the moment, I mean. You see, in the moment, we must be getting ready to engage somewhere. But just disengage with the world. Disengage with the world means your own circumstances, your own thoughts, your own emotions. Allow them to come and go, but you stay engaged with the presence of God. And from time to time, it may seem like a fight. So if you go to a doctor or a dietitian has said don't eat chocolate cake. After 1 week, you come to the dietitian appointment and you say, please help me, I've eaten a lot of chocolate cake. The dietitian will say, don't do that. So, so this dietitian is going to tell you that only consume the diet of God's love. Nothing is missing in that. Nothing, there is no problem in that. And stay in that all the time.
I have to believe the thoughts for the emotion also to feel real.
For the emotion to cause turmoil, yes. For the emotion to be tasted, maybe not.
Yeah.
You can taste all perception, but for it to become a thing, there has to be belief in a thought. Namaste. Here, here. We have our translator from last time. So behind all these layers of perception, all that we perceive, all that we are seeing through our eyes, our thinking in our mind, our feeling as our emotions. Behind all of this, according to the mind, there is nothing. According to the mind, there is nothing. But actually, His presence, His light, His love lives there. And if we don't live a life where His presence, His love, His light is not discovered, then that is not a worthwhile life at all. So the very purpose of our existence is to live in His light, is to live in His presence. Now, if you say, for example, that I don't know how to find that presence, then you must follow the presence of unconditional love. Find that love in your heart and remain with that till that love itself leads you to its source, to where it is coming from. Who is there? That is the presence of your Atma. That Atma is not a human presence. It is the holy presence of God itself. So we must enter within our heart. And if the intention is to find God in this way, to come to Atma Gyan, to come to Atma Darshan, then the methods will show up. See? Nobody loses out because they don't have the right method. There are enough methods that God has given all of us to be able to come to His light. So we must intend to live in His light firstly. We must intend to love Him, to remember Him. And if that intention is true, then the method will come. And once the method comes, we must apply it. So the intention I am trying to create in you by telling you that there is a better way to live. Our mental way to live, our egoic way to live is not the right way to live. And I'm showing you hopefully in words and by example that there is a different way to live. It is possible to live in His light. So I'm trying to light up that intention within yourself. Light up that possibility within yourself, because most of our brothers and sisters in the world, they don't feel like it is possible at all for them. They feel like that is too far-fetched, too difficult. So I'm here to show you that if it can happen to a foolish one like this one, why can it not happen for you? It will happen. So you must first carry that intention. Then what happens? Then you say, okay, I do want this more than anything else. I want to come to His darshan. I want to come to Atma Gyan. What should I do? So all those methods have been given to you. You have the inquiry, you have the Atma Darshan Samadhi, you can chant, you can pray, you can really contemplate the words of Satsang. And using all of this, you can come to His light. So once the method is given to you, then you must latch on to it with everything that you have. Because you are not hostage anymore to your life or to your mind. So you must latch on to it with all your mind. You must say, I want to remain open and empty. And I really try to remain open and empty. It is not happening. Then, because just by itself open and empty is not happening, we are not able to live in the unborn. So I'm trying to do the prayer all the time. The Atma Darshan Samadhi prayer all the time. Then you say that, okay, but at work there are too many distractions. I have to do meetings and I have to do my computer work and all of that work. You see, so then I can't do the full prayer. You see. Then can you do the arrow mantra at the end? Can you do Ram, 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 Ram? We can do. Nobody here has access to some nuclear codes or something. Our work is not that important that we can't remember God. So, so use that. Suppose you say, no, it is full intensity. All my attention needs to be on it. Then, can you not remain with the presence of love? Can you not remain with the presence, His presence in your heart while the external continues to move in its own way? You can. And just like this, small steps, every day, small steps. You see, and your life will transform before you know it. It will seem like you left your old house and you shifted to your new house, which is in the presence of God, which is His light. So, faith, humility, patience, courage, we need all of these things, but they will come to us because the fire to be with Him is so strong. You see, that is the difference. So, if your desire is to serve yourself, then all these things won't come because there is no fire for the truth there. If it's a self serving light, then you will use all the egoic material you have at your disposal, but you will not gain access to the godly support that you can access. The divine support that you can access through the presence of the Holy Spirit, the Atma within, that will not be available to us if our intention is egoic. That's why it's very important for this to be God for God's sake, truth for truth's sake. And if your intention is for God, if your love is for God, then all support will come. All that support will come, all the help will come. It is not possible that you will be left abandoned. But having said that, it may seem like for a while every moment of your life becomes a leap of faith. See, because you don't know where this is going. You don't know if you're making the right decisions. You don't know if you're coming to freedom. You don't know a lot of this. But you just have to trust that you will not be abandoned by Him if you truly turn to Him. You just have to have that trust. So I'm here to intervene on His behalf in that way. Because you were thinking that the world is very important and the things here are very important and the relationships here are very important and the feelings here are very important. But you're neglecting that which is the only important. And I'm here to remind you of that. That don't forget His presence within yourself. Don't forget that He's a reality. He's not a work of fiction. I'm here to tell you that. He's not a conceptual notion. He is the only living being, which means that if you consider yourself to be living, you see, He is the one that is the life. You have no other life except Him. You don't have a life independent of Him. He is the giver of life. So our spiritual life must become unceasing. Our spirituality must be unceasing, not a refuge that we go to when we are in trouble. Not just that, of course, we can go there, but not just a refuge we go to when we are in trouble. We must move bag and baggage here in our heart. We must live here. What stops you from living there? And don't you have the methods and the tools to let go of the false one in your head? You have inquiry, you have prayer, you have chanting, you have the invitation, you have fresh, you have open and empty, you have every tool possible. But I cannot help you if you want the false. And then when you get in trouble, then you want to run to the truth. If you want the truth, then all this is available to you. And your heart will guide you. Your heart will teach you how to inquire. Your heart will teach you how to pray. Your heart will chant on your behalf. If you can just surrender to that, the prayer will drop from your head to your heart. And the unceasing prayer, the Nirantar Japa, will go on. But the trouble is, many of you are expecting the switchover to be, oh yeah, I want God. You see? But for years and maybe lifetimes, we have wanted ego, we have wanted pride. Now, if in His grace, of course, everything is possible. But if the instant you turn to God, you could get Him fully, then most likely our egoic pride would take over. That I am so special, people struggled for so long, you see, and I just turned to Him and I got Him. You see, then we'll become so proud, it'll again become about me. So in the process, usually the pride, the selfishness is squeezed out of us. Squeezed out of us. And that can seem uncomfortable. But we must not let go. That is why satsangs happen so often. To remind you that your true home, your true life is not this. There's another place where you're actually living. From that place, this world just looks like a play of light and sound. Without the egoic tentacles that we attach to in the world, it's just light entertainment, a light and sound show, which is presented every day, every moment. But if you forget where your true home is, then this can seem like the world of suffering. If you remain in your true home, then there is no suffering possible. It's not possible to suffer when He is holding your hand. In the presence of Atma, which by the way, the presence of Atma is the presence of Ram, Krishna, Jesus, Allah. You see, it is His presence. If you are with Him, what will happen to you? What can happen? Now, after having heard all this, tell me what else can you want? If you can be with Him, if you can love Him and He can love you, what are we worried about? What else can we want? So is there an inner skeptic in our head which we are buying, which is saying, all this is fine, but I don't believe it. You see, it's not going to happen. Is it like that? Do we
look at
keep?
that further. It's like you keep saying, no, you don't need a belief.
Yes.
And I just feel I heard so much about God. I have so many beliefs, but I haven't met Him. It's all, there's no point to it.
Yeah.
It's
So
irrelevant.
yes. So are you empty all the time or are you praying all the time? Yes. So that you have to do.
It's okay if it's still,
It doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. Are you empty all the time or are you praying all the time? So that is the time to just, you have to catch the bull by its horns now. You see? Otherwise, the mind can keep taking us for these rides, and this happens, and I see this. So today is coming to say to all of you that just empty for God, open for God, or just praying to God all the time. Normally.
Can I still want to fully still
Are you empty all the time or praying all the time? Then do that. Huh? Okay, see, what are you saying? Can I still want God all the time?
and can these things still come up?
Don't worry. Are you empty all the time or are you praying all the time? Don't resolve things at the level of the mind. Don't understand anything. Make yourself fully available for God. If I said to you in the next 10 minutes, Krishna will come. 10 minutes, Krishna will come. But for that, you have to be either fully empty or fully praying to Him. Would you do it? Now, I tell you that 10 minutes I've said is too much. You pray with full fervor, if you pray with full trust and faith, you will see that He is here. The thing that gets in our way is doubt. Have you all not had enough of the merry-go-round? Just round, round, round. This happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. When will be the time to fully commit to God? What is that holy Mahurat? You say that fully commit to God. It doesn't matter what happens in my life is for God now. What is missing now? Methods, intention is there. Intention is there or no? Oh, how many want to juggle? Trust me, don't try to juggle because you will learn either this way by listening to me or the hard way by getting beaten up in life. It just doesn't work. And sooner or later, whether this lifetime or next or next or next, you will let go of that intention to have a bit of this and bit of that. So, unceasing devotion to God in the form of our sheer emptiness, our conceptual emptiness, or our sheer bhakti, our sheer devotion at His feet. And it's not that both are mutually exclusive. Your heart will guide you moment to moment. is the method sorted out for all of you? That's very important. So one problem that may come is that many of you are still struggling trying to figure out what is the right prayer, what is the right aspect of God you can pray to, all of that. But I'm telling you that that is secondary. That is secondary. So one day it will seem like you want to do Ram Ram Ram, next day you want to do Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's just in a short amount of time. If you have this problem after 2-3 years, then we can talk about it and say, okay, if you're just going on switching for the next 2 years, then it's something to worry about. Right now, just turn to Him. So sometimes if you feel like doing Ram, Shiva, Jesus, Allah, Krishna, whatever you feel like doing, just first get yourself away from your mind into Him. Then all that will be resolved. So, how many of you feel like you can do the full ADS prayer constantly throughout the day? And how many of you struggle? Struggle with the full one when? What happens?
Yeah. I mean, in the morning I can do the only one. As that day goes on, then I can do just chant along.
Yeah.
And that's much easier than the same.
Yes, but you have to make it difficult, not easy.
I want to repeat this. After we consisted and persisted, I've been able to do it all day since yesterday. But like when I asked you if I'm listening to satsang, any kind of satsang, then I just do the satsang. Sometimes I just say Krishna. But it's really good.
Very good, very good. I'm so happy to hear that. The mind resists it and finds the path of least resistance,
Yes.
where it just becomes a tick in the box thing. It doesn't remain a prayer anymore. Just wants to have something which can feel, it can feel like I'm being spiritual. So I took that example of that of the son. You go to his room and he's not paying attention to you because you walk in and everything you say he goes. So he's like, but I'm listening. I'm saying, but you know that full value, that full honor, that full devotion is not there. As opposed to whatever space life is made to us. Why give the minimum of that? Whatever space life is made for God, we should give the maximum of that. I'm not saying don't make space for anything else. We all have families, most of us have jobs, all those things are there. You see? But in that circumstance, why should we do the minimum and not the maximum? See, that is the question. So once your attitude changes, once it becomes, and it's very natural that it seems so easy, I can just go ram, 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 ram. You see, and I took that example of bicep curls with momentum versus without momentum. So, if you're in the middle of some very important work, your attention is needed, you're presenting some spreadsheet, something is happening. You see? And in the midst of that, you remember God and you're saying Ram 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 inside or outside, I don't know. You see? Then that's beautiful. It's beautiful. And that's commendable. But I'll just finish this point. But if there is space, you're just like watching a movie or something like that, which is not so important. You see, just doing something which is not so compelling or doesn't need so much of your attention. Then why can we not say, Lord Sri Ram, incarnation of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. Bless my heart with the light of Atma. Ram, 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 Ram. See, why can we not say it? So many questions. Okay, go ahead. Can't hear you. Yeah.
Inwardly, you will say, sit down. Are we able to feel the words, or is it like a more mechanical chant?
There are all levels to that. You see? So it can be mechanical but full. It can be full and heartfelt. It can be the heart itself doing ajapa japa, where the heart itself is chanting and you're just enjoying the flavor of it emerging from your heart. So all these layers are there. What I'm saying is that let's put our best foot forward for God. See, with everything. Like we will put our best foot forward for work, we will put our best foot forward in relationships, we will do all of that. Then why should we give just the lowest possible feel good approach to say, ha, at least kar to raha hu na? You see, so that is not true devotion. Of course, it will still have benefit. It will still help. It will still bring us closer. But I'm pushing you to become fully committed in your heart. Fully committed in your heart. So suppose there are times where you are doing something, and there are many times during my work day also where I'm doing something and I don't have the full focus to say the full prayer. You see? Then we can say, and then that work can go on. Yes.
Just the question, when life is flowing and I am with God, is thank you in every movement, in every
So you're
word.
empty.
I'm empty,
Yes.
yes.
That's fine.
Um,
You see, but don't fool yourself about it. In the sense that it's very easy for the mind to come and say, but I'm just empty. I'm just empty. So you have to be very observant, you have to be vigilant to see whether you're really empty or is just every minute, every few seconds the mind is offering you some idea. But because it's not impeding yet, we are not tasting the suffering of that. That's why it may seem like we're just empty. It's so it's to escape this, the mind will sometimes just make this escape route saying, but um, I'm just empty all the time. But observe, you see, because if you're empty all the time, then it's not long before his perfume, his love, his presence, your life will seem like his temple. If you're really empty, if you're living in the unborn, you see, you will walk into this room and I'll be drawn to your perfume. You're just so much empty for God. So you have to be quite observant to not fall for any tricks of the mind. And make sure that you return to that emptiness through your inquiry or return to that devotion to your heart, to the Atma within through your devotion, through your prayer.
Sometimes while doing the ADS, it's full heart, and then somewhere slips into some thought comes, and the ADS is happening mechanically, and the thought is happening. So when we realize that, just to go back to the heart.
Let's go
okay,
back. Yes, that's all we can do. Let's go back.
I feel like, so I feel like whatever this relation happening can happen, I'm also starting to feel like the chant itself will tell you what is to be done, what is to be
Yes,
spoken.
yes.
It's not the other way that
Yes.
I have this work to do, so then I'm not, it's
Exactly.
not, it should not be that way. You know.
Exactly.
The chant should be the only thing that is the,
Yes.
everything else can guide.
Exactly.
You don't have to say, I have to do this now, so the chant will do that.
Exactly.
That's what is happening.
Yes.
You know.
Very good. It's very important. Yes.
So, other way around. And I realized that if I'm truly open and empty all the time, the japa will happen.
Yes.
It is not going to be so difficult for me to keep going in and out of areas. not having the full force in areas which is happening now. Sometimes, I'm, like you said, all these different levels I taste during the day. But if I was really, I was so full, I felt like there was no suffering happening so much. But I was going in and out of place. I was very like, I didn't even notice that.
It's very good. And we start noticing with subtlety all of these things. We start noticing the simple tricks of the mind, how it takes us away from our devotion, from our love. There'll be times, and you will know in your heart when it's happening like that you would have prayed and then you just feel so much love. It's like the world dissolves and you're just in His presence full of love. You're in the inner sanctum of the heart temple. It's full of so much grace and light and joy. So if you're truly open and empty all the time, then this should be very natural. That you're just basically living in samadhi, living in this sort of samadhi state. But that's very, very rare, and I, of course, bless you all that it does happen that way, but don't let your mind fool you. And if you're truly empty, then there is no problem in japa and chanting and inquiry. And you realize that both are not exclusive of each other.
The mind is so tricky. It's the one that says, I don't need to chant, I'm open and
Yes. So then, if that is being believed, then we are not open in it.
Yes, I noticed when I'm distracted in all my joys, brings me to distraction, and then so to say, problem or unpleasantness comes up, and then go back to the ADS.
I mean, it's good that the slightest poke should bring us back to our heart. Don't wait for it to become a big nudge, and then don't wait for the nudge to become a big push, and don't wait for the push to become a big slap.
That if the dietitian has said not to eat the chocolate cake, and you're telling us not to go with the 9, and you're saying not to go with the 9, so if I've eaten the chocolate cake, the dietitian will say not to eat the chocolate cake the next time. So I'm just wanting to clarify that if I've got the thought or I've sinned or I've gone with it, the next time just not to do it again.
Yes.
Because the mind is making this fight, it's making a very big war out of it, and it's not, it's just as simple as
Yeah.
don't
You
eat.
leave both sides, the Kauravas and the Pandavas.
So if you have a
Wherever the war is
up-
happening, you leave that. You go to Krishna.
And what's happening is the second punch is coming that I sin so much, like I should
Yes,
not
but
have
is this the third punch?
means
So first punch, something. Second punch, you should not have done that.
yeah.
Third punch, oh now this is what's happening. The second punch is going like that. Could that be the third punch? It's like mirror. Doesn't end. You just have to somewhere.
It's like lots of guilt coming for
Fourth punch.
stuff. So it's as simple as just don't eat the chocolate.
Of course. See, because in any of this, it is just taking time away from God. You see, what will be resolved? What answer will we get? Ultimately, that answer has to mean go to God. In whichever way we will accept that. You see? So remember that this battle is about time. And the mind will have tricks up its sleeve to take away time from you. Yeah. All of us are learning this.
Everything we do, like about itself. As we are changing, whatever we are changing, is everything, it can just constantly, it can be about me. And God is always, even if we can imagine God is in the foreground. That is tricky it is.
This is the thing. That's why that Kabirji's statement of Maya Mahadhagini is very important. Because in the best intentions it will hide. In the seeming devotion it will hide. See, even the simple thing like what she said, but I'm chanting Ram Ram Ram. I'm doing it now. See, but are you full hearted? Are you giving it your all? See, do you mean it? The mind will say, no, but that's already good. It is good, but not enough maybe. All depends on the circumstances that He's put us in. If He's given us a life with full space, or if He's given us this moment with full space to remember Him, then what better use of time is there?
Almost like a question. Like just a few weeks ago, I didn't realize this. Now I'm seeing this. I really developed a pray. So I was able to pray unceasingly, not just because it was constant. Like even during meetings, it would just keep going. I realized that even this I can't do right now because in the last week that I've struggled, I've tried so much to pray. I've tried so much to go back to the presence, but each time I realize that it's not like that. And earlier, like there was a pride coming that like I can pray right now. It was almost like I can't touch, that it cannot make me suffer because something it just, and it was almost like pride of that I have fathers and like mothers there.
Yeah. Exactly.
You said something like give it all that you can, but depend on His mercy.
Huh?
Depend on His mercy.
Yes.
It is exactly. I feel like I'm putting the effort, but I also see that without His grace, it's. I feel like it goes hand in hand, but somewhere that's also not true. So even when I'm putting the effort, only because it's His grace that I'm able to put it.
Yes. But also that we must put in all the effort, but never become self-reliant. In the sense, reliant on the fact that we've done this, that in a way what she's saying, right? That, but now I can pray like this, or now I've improved, or this has happened. Never become self-reliant. So, all effort, all surrender to God. This is full responsibility and full surrender at the same time. It's possible. It sounds weird to the mind. It's possible.
Feels like in conjunction somewhere. The effort and His mercy.
Exactly.
Till now we were only giving, I was only giving the no. Only
Yes.
after you kind of brought that out, I feel like I want to, you have to give the maximum. You
Heart.
cannot.
It's like you're sitting there and you're presenting your heart to God. Every moment. You see? Every moment you're making the full presentation of your full life to Him. So, this thing is coming to say, some of us have taken job interviews, have participated in interviews. How we present our best foot forward. This also, this also, this also. But when we're making the application to God, give us a home at your feet, we're like, Ram Ram. Which is beautiful. See, it's beautiful at some level. When your life is all over the place, it is helter-skelter, and you still find the space to say one Ram, that is beautiful. But if God has created so much space for you for your devotion in this life, then we must not shortchange it. Full. I'm fully yours, God. I'm fully yours. Do with me what you will. Keep me how you will.
He does whatever level, how much you are able to play, he totally like takes care, you know.
Yes.
Like he shows you, and so many times just a small recognition that praying to him, you know. And I apologize because in that prayer I'm not even, maybe even like minuscule heartedly praying, and my attention is elsewhere. And it's so shameful, like he shows me, like, not in that way, but you know,
Yes, I know what you mean.
praying to him. But he just loves, he doesn't.
Yes. So sometimes we will feel this way about ourselves. So if you remember the satsang with Hanuman Podarji, where somebody asked him a question saying, why did great sages like Tulsidas, like Surdas, say that they are the biggest sinners, that their sin is beyond compare? How would they say like that? But they were such great sages. So he said, because their whole benchmark changes. See, the benchmark changes, and you notice that if every moment of your time can be spent giving yourself to God, and you give 10 moments to just some stupid idea in your head, that can seem like a big stupidity, a big foolishness. So it's the benchmark that keeps changing. It's not that they were some closet thieves or something like that. It's just that they noticed the sensitivity towards the human condition and the foolishness inherent in that just keeps growing more and more. You see, you realize that that's why I keep warning you against these things. The mind will present a theme for the day. They say, today you worry about this. See, today you worry about, and the same old stuff, money, relationship, body, the search for meaning. It's the same thing. Like today, but it'll find something. What is your theme for the day, everyone? So you are allowed to have one today.
I don't have a theme. I mean,
Birthday can be
it gets even more. So you have it, like even while he was saying, and even when we're just going to say it. So it just attacks God directly. And it just says, are you mad? I mean, what the heck are you doing? Why are you going on this? God, can you just, it's like shrieking, stop it, stop.
Because so we have to take a call saying which one of the two is mad. Because one of the two voices is mad. So is the only voice of sanity is the voice of the Atma within. You see? But to the voice of the madness, that will sound like mad. So this not pushy, sane voice in our heart, we must come to access. And our mind will fight that with all its might, saying that this is just madness. But we must withdraw our allegiance from that, because that makes all the struggle happen.
Yeah. I really do see that all the struggle happens from that. And sometimes it's so blatantly ridiculous that you can live in. And sometimes it's really subtle in ways of pride and entitlement, and then you tend to go believe that. You know? But if you keep chanting like you do, then some grace comes, and it may take even sometimes 2 days or something. But you see the cause of that disturbance. And then the second that you see it, it's just kind of like, it's like the sun comes out of it. It's just dispelled completely. But
So the method is clear for all of you, and some of you will just maybe now, because you will feel outnumbered or something, you may not temperamentally, something may not resonate with prayer at all. You see? And so then you must use the inquiry. You must use the inquiry, must ask yourself sincerely, who am I? Remain open and empty. Use the fresh, open and empty. Use Guruji's sticks thing. They all leading you to the same. No mind. And that no mind will pull you in the heart, and all this that we are speaking of soon will not seem that alien, or it may not seem that difficult. So every few minutes, if you find yourself getting caught in the mind, first you have to notice. If you don't notice and you just buy what the mind is saying, then the mind will tell you you're the sage of all sages, you are the Maharaj sage. You see? You see? But then don't waste your life in those delusions. Don't waste your life in those delusions. At least let your master confirm that to you. You see? Let him come and confirm to you. Don't just buy something in your head. That it'll present. See, the mind will always have its alternative version tailor-made for you. It'll say, but for me, this like that. For me, I feel this like that. You see something, but it keeps you stuck using all those things. So I feel like this is very useful that came today. Either we are empty all the time or we are praying all the time. See, the rest is just excuses. The rest is just mind. Or that doesn't mean we've accomplished it. I just mean that is our intention. That is our intention.
Prayer empty or self-inquiry also.
Huh?
Only prayer and empty or self-inquiry also.
Yes, but self-inquiry, so we become empty. Like, what is the purpose of self-inquiry? You ask yourself, who am I? You see, not so that you think about it. Isn't it? You ask yourself, who am I? Not so that you think about it. Am I a snake, or am I a giraffe, or a butterfly? You're not. That is not the process of inquiry. You throw the grenade in, basically, see, and it just cleans up everything, and you remain in that empty till your intuition flowers so much that the truth of who you are comes to the surface of recognition. So that is self-inquiry. So self-inquiry is so that we can remain empty. You see? So you will realize that whether it is who am I and you go to your intuition, or your japa becomes a japa where the Ram is coming from your intuition, both are exactly the same. Both are exactly the same. Whether you ask yourself, who am I? And it may not seem like your physical heart region, although for most of us it will, even with inquiry. You see? For some of you, it may just seem like a global emptiness. You see? But for most of us, there will be like a gravitation pull from the core of our being in our heart, and we learn to rest there. So whether it is you're contemplating the words of satsang, so you heard them, then you were just mulling over them, and then it drops into your heart, and that contemplation becomes heartfelt. See, and the truth is revealed to you in your heart. See, so these are called intuitive insights. Or whether you're saying the prayer and you find that the prayer is dropped into your heart, and your intuition itself is chanting the prayer now. Your heart itself is chanting the prayer now. It's exactly the same. So it's literally like what they say about the rivers going towards the same ocean. The ocean is the Atma within.
Another that question which you made us ask, that how do you know it's you? That also brings you back into a complete empty.
Any questions which are useful in satsang are useful because they are only possible to answer intuitively. The point is to drop into our intuition, our heart. You see, there the love will flower, there the presence will become apparent, there you will feel like, why would I ever leave this? It's so alive and joyful and fragrant and loving. You see, why would you leave this place? So whether you get there as a Jnana Yogi, asking yourself, what is my true nature? What is the nature of reality? Who am I? Was I born? Will I die? Any of these questions. You see? Am I aware now? Can I stop being? Any of these questions. Or by remembering God, by taking His name, the fruit is the same. The switch over from the way of the head to the way of the heart. So some of you want to come up, you can come also. One question I'll answer before we do that, which is that, Father, can we be empty and still pray? Yes. You see? Because your heart loves to pray. And true prayer, your prayer is deepened when it becomes like that. You see? When you are just noticing that your heart is praying. You see? Your heart, trust me, your heart loves to pray. Don't get into any notion that the heart is always silent or something like that. You see? It loves to sing praises to God, it loves to pray, it loves to guide you, it loves to reassure. And you notice as you go on that the home of the prayer becomes your heart itself. So when you are praying in this way, or you're contemplating a question of self-inquiry, empty in the head, or it could be even a Zen koan for that matter, when you're truly contemplating in your heart, then both are the same. Because you've come to the right place, where your home is, where you belong. And I'm not going to leave you. You can decide to leave, of course, but I'm not going to leave you till I make you shift your home. Till you don't leave your home here to the home here, I'm not going to leave you. Okay, some of you want to come. So first Kesha, then Karunamai.
Hi, Father.
Hello.
I really felt I needed to come up today and talk to you in person, and especially since some nervousness has arisen, I thought, well, you really need to come up now.
Good, good, good.
So, so the past few weeks I've been praying a lot, like sitting in the mornings and with Guruji's new instruction to sit for 15 minutes in the morning. And in the litany prayer I was saying every morning, and ADS, of course, and just chanting the name of God and things like that. And last satsang, when you spoke, I don't know, there was pride hiding in my question about, I don't remember what it was exactly, but it exposed it. And I realized that these prayers and these ways and things were becoming stale, and that identity was really taking hold of these methods as like a chore. And so the thing with when being in God and being with God, there's just a naturalness of love and all of that, and it feels effortless. But when these challenges come, sometimes they pass, and it's okay, and God is it's okay, and it's thank you God for this challenge. And but other times the challenge comes and it feels like I just fall off that horse, and just there's resistance to get back on.
So,
Like a wallowing, I guess, and like, oh, I
so yeah, it's very tricky, because what happens is that the mind proposes some self-concern, then it proposes some self-concern about having self-concern, then it proposes some self-concern about that self-concern of having self-concern. So this never-ending loop, and you just feel like, okay, but this is self-concern. Oh, did I have self-concern? You see, then that is self-concern about self-concern. You see, so it doesn't end in that way, and that's why today also I've been saying that the only way out of this maze, you see, the only way out of this struggle is to drop into our heart, to drop into a heart where He lives, you see, and He will bless us, He will love us, He will guide us, and then that is the only solution to this seeming loop that the mind can create about everything. You see? So it's because you notice, isn't it, that it's never ending, because it's just like, oh my, that was self-concern. So now I'm self-concerned about having self-concern. You see, so it doesn't stop that way.
yeah, and then it's this and this and this and this and this is a
And what happens,
problem,
I feel
and
subtly, is that what happens is that we feel that, but I've invested so much now in trying to make sense of this here. Now, I need to know what's happening to me. You see, like what's really wrong. And what's really wrong with any of us is that we are in the head and not in the heart in that moment. That is the only thing so-called wrong. So, but at that moment we don't like that answer, you see, because we want to specifically be diagnosed or something specific to happen, because we don't, the mind tells us that it can't just be just a thought, it has to be something more. There's something, you see, we talked about this, that the mind loves having problems, but it wants us to have those problems which are not the not natural ones. It wants us to have problems which are unique to ourselves. Like our specialness is also including the specialness of our problems. You see?
can you
So, so something latches on to that idea. If you were like, if you had presented a notion that there is something specially wrong with us, that somewhere something loves that also.
oh yeah,
If you,
keeps,
if you are
yeah,
in, but if you are informed that no, actually it's the same problem everyone has, is the thought. It's like, nah, I need to go to a better doctor, who can diagnose me properly. So if you went to a doctor who just gives you vitamins, you see, like in India we have this big problem. When we used to run this health center in the slums, then our doctors would not want to give injections, antibiotics, all of those things. And the patients who would come would feel like these doctors are not good because they're just giving vitamins and things like that. You see? So we just feel like a bit shortchanged when there's not a special diagnosis that comes. We just feel like, no, he doesn't really care. So this kind of stuff happens.
yes, yes.
So what I'm saying is there's nothing especially wrong with any of us. See, it's the same guy, it's the same thoughts, it's the same patterns. You see, they play out in different combinations at times, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm realizing with this satsang, like how like everyone's sharing so openly about everything, and I realize, oh wow, it's it's for everyone. And and I'm not in denial that it's a lifelong, this is a lifelong endeavor, that it's not a one-time fix all and then
be complacent. And if that is ever the case, then I know that I have strayed very far from what you're saying. So,
Right. Very good. See, there's so many tools that you can use, and maybe all of you can just make one poster out of the tool that helps you the most. You know, just keep it in front of you. But you may have to keep changing that every once in a while, because the thing with these is that you stop looking at them after some time. So, like this simple tool, which is that, is God feeling real to you right now? And if He is not, then you're in Maya. You see, that itself can be a reminder for us to return. You see, because in that instant where God doesn't seem real, His presence doesn't seem alive, then that is Maya. That is the whole job of Maya. You see? That is literally what Maya is, to distract you from God's presence. But what happens is, if I say that when you're in the midst of that stuff, then it's like, yes, I knew you were going to say that, but you're not really helping me. You see? It just can feel like that, isn't it? So it sounds very generic, because actually the problem is generic. It is not individual. So even right now you can check, is God a reality for you? Is God seeming like a reality for you? And if it is not a reality for you, then turn in, inquire, pray, love, as opposed to eat, pray, love.
and with with the tools and stuff like that, I wonder, maybe I can ask this, but for a while I've been like, I was just using everything, and well, I guess maybe am answering my own question, but if it's done with heart, moment to moment,
And
like,
with heart, and it leads to heart.
yeah,
Whatever, the proof of this pudding is in the eating. So whatever gets you to His light, His love, use that.
yeah, I think I was just becoming mechanical and using everything like, as, like I said, a chore, like a habit more than
So then you have to pick something more difficult. You see, what can happen many times is that when you're giving it your all, then it never feels like a chore. When it just becomes mechanical is when we've just made it like something in the background, something just. You see? So what I said earlier about giving Him our highest, giving Him our highest, and not just what is the tick in the box or prescribed thing. You see? Then I don't feel like it becomes a chore.
Yeah. Okay.
It's easier for you to say, for example, if you were at work or you were tending to your dog or something like that, and you feel like that takes so much attention. I tried to do the full ADS, or I tried to inquire, but it doesn't really work. That's when I had to shift to the shorter one. You see, something like that. Take take the highest, most difficult, and then if it's just not possible, then downgrade. Then go to the easier option, because then that'll keep you engaged. You see, it'll keep you engaged. Otherwise, it just becomes like background music or something.
Yes. Okay, Father. Yeah, I will do that. Thank you.
Very welcome. Very welcome. Okay, Karunamai.
Hello, Father. Thank you so
Hello,
much.
welcome.
Thank you for putting me on the hotspot, I guess. I wasn't planning.
No, you asked, no? Did you not ask?
No, I asked for a blessing, but
You
this
can.
is a blessing. It doesn't always come.
Oh,
I
okay. I
expect
see. Okay. Okay.
I was hiding a bit.
I see. Somehow it just, the chat is playing tricks with you. At least playing tricks with me.
It's good, it's good. Because I was also hiding probably last time, like it is when I came to see you, and I understand you're fasting and also some of the
Okay,
Sangha.
so since you didn't have a real question to ask, can I ask my question for today, which is, are you trying to be empty all the time, or are you trying to pray all the time?
Uh, I'm I'm far from all the time.
No, but what are you trying? And it can be that either one of them all the time, but it has to be all the time.
This is what I was trying to respond, that I'm not all the time in.
No, no, but what are you trying is the question. None of us are all the time, but what is the intention?
I
You see, because option three is what?
the
Option
intention
three is
and
only option three is that me some of the time and God some of the time. You see?
no, the intention, I guess my intention is to be empty all the time, and sometimes by grace it happens
Okay, where do you get stuck?
in my addictions to, or attachments, let's not call them addictions, or both, to money and children.
Yes, yes, yes. So that is pretty like regular. It's pretty true for all of us. But that is what we have to work from. You see, and if it feels like a fight, then tell me that you fought.
Yeah, it does feel like a fight, and
But are you telling me that you fought?
I I I'm still fighting.
Yes. So that's good. If you're fighting, it is good. Fighting in the sense that we're not, you know what I mean. Most of you have been in satsang long enough to know that I'm not saying get into any conceptual arguments with the mind and try to win the fight that way. I'm just saying that with full heart, we try to remain empty. With full heart, we try to inquire. With full heart, we try to pray. And then when we fail, we return to that. When we notice, we return to that full-hearted attempt to be empty and to pray.
Okay, yeah, and I also, and the reason I wrote to you is because I'm trying every day now to fast. I was in the past I was quite good at it, especially Easter and Christmas, like in my Christian tradition, was just, yeah, was almost natural, you know. And now I propose to myself, and then I fail pretty much.
Okay, so when the mind comes and bothers you, it
I don't
resists, it
bother
interrupts.
to look at it, like it's so. Uh,
Then do you inquire?
I don't. So it's simply like I see a piece of cheese, and the cheese is in my mouth. It's just as basic and simple, you know. I'm not
I
even
just want
like,
to tell you one thing, that this response I've heard from the first day of sharing satsang, which was 12 years ago. You see, which is that I don't do it, it just happens. Belief is so fast, it's automatic, I can't help it. By the time I notice it, it's already too late. You see, it just all of that. And I have not bought it for a single day since then. And today is not the first day I will buy it also. Right? So, what is happening is that you have to commit full heartedly to not fall for these mind tricks, and then you will fail maybe 50% of the time, but you have to start succeeding at least the other 50% of the time. You see?
there is some success, okay?
Good. So let's make that more and more, because the fact is that we don't have time anymore. We
Yeah.
don't have time anymore. We can't expect God to keep waiting perpetually for us to finally come to our senses without putting in everything that we have got, as if it is a matter of life and death, because it is a matter of life and death. Is it?
I totally agree with.
I noticed that even in this body, it's just a question of the next 10 years. After that, I don't know what physical pain there'll be, what will be the state of this body. When is the time left for me to love God, to be in His light?
It's not even that I'm confused. I want to fast and then I fail very quickly.
No, you're
I
just
don't
failing
fail all the
because
time.
you allow the mind to bully you like this.
Yeah, and the reason I wrote to you is also because I noted in this satsang how it was creating all this noise, not about fasting, but all my Maya
Okay,
attraction
what is your heart saying right now?
that I love.
Thank you. But the thing is that if if I'm not there in front of you to keep short circuiting your mind, then you have to do it for yourself, isn't it? Otherwise,
And
you just keep going with that saying, but my mind says this, then my mind says that, but it's got
I
nothing
don't
to do.
look poor and say, "Oh my God, I'm not doing it." There are times when I'm in the heart, okay? But there are times when I'm not. So when you say this thing, you
Let
study
you
time.
let me say that for you next time when you come up. Let me look into your eyes and say, Karunamai, what has happened? You're spilling over with so much love for God. I can see the emptiness, I can see the love.
Um,
Full on, full on, full on. I want you to be full on with this.
yeah, me too.
Very good, very good,
Thank you so much.
very good, my dear. You're welcome. See? The biggest misunderstanding we have in our life is that we have time. Yeah? It's the biggest misunderstanding. When something then happens in our life and we are shaken out of that mindset, then we, for a day or two, commit fully. And then the mind finds ways again to build defenses and to make us believe that we have time. Krishna is sitting inside the door in your heart. He's sitting there, but you're running out of time to open that door. All of us are. We exchange our mind's smartness for the innocence of devotion, which can bring such a transformation in our life. Your life can be so alive and fragrant and joyful and loving. Every moment your own company can be so enjoyable to you, but you're just wasting time because of things which you think you know so well and you understand so well. So we must stop that today, right now, because you don't realize that you're hurting your own self. If God is in your heart right now, why aren't you with Him? Either tell me that He is not. Say that you don't have trust, you don't have faith, and He's not. It sounds far fetched. But if He is, then what are you doing in the world? Not that your body can't move in the world and actions can't happen and all of that. But what are you doing in the world if God is sitting in your heart? I make a lamentation to me tomorrow or next time saying that He is in my heart, the door is closed, and I have knocked and knocked and knocked and knocked till my knuckles are bleeding. You see? Or that he let me in and I enjoyed his love and presence so much and I'm never going to leave. But don't just now keep saying my mind does, my mind this, my mind that, my mind this. How long will that happen? Can you see the ride the mind is taking you on with this stuff? And nothing you're saving but your self-importance, your self-image and your being right. And remember that when we seem too right to ourselves, then we are seeming completely foolish to God. Because pride is the biggest poison in your spiritual search. So the project is clear to all of yours. The project is what?
Empty of prayer.
Empty of prayer, so that we can be in His light, in His presence. So, because a life spent without living in His presence, in His love, is not a worthwhile life. So that is the project. All of you intend to complete this project? Yes. So the intention is there. The method is clear. You see? So we talked a bit about that. So Nirantar Japa, which means unceasing prayer, is one method where you take the full ADS. You see? You take the full ADS. So your intention is to give him your highest. We had a conversation which was very helpful about how we are, for example, doing Ram 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 Ram, which is fine. If we are very busy and we are engaged with a lot of things, then at least we are remembering God. So that's a great, beautiful thing. But if our life has given us some space and we can do the full prayer, which is Lord Shri Ram, incarnation of God, have mercy on me a sinner, bless my heart with the light of Atma, Ram, 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 then why would we not put our best foot forward and do that? You see? Because even in a job interview, we put our best foot forward, we give it our all. You see? Then now we are applying for a place at God's feet forever. Then we must not be tick in the box about it or just do the minimum possible. So instead of doing the minimum possible, we have to do the highest possible every moment that we can. And we'll see that everything else takes care of itself. Now there will be times where we will be in some focused activity, some work, something like that. And if in that moment we can just chant Ram, 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 then that is beautiful. That's excellent, because at least even in the midst of the helter-skelter, we remembered Him and we relied on Him. So that is beautiful. See, so that is one way to be in constant prayer. Then you will find that your prayer drops into your heart and your heart itself starts praying. Then you're just an observer of the fragrance of this prayer, of the love that emerges from your heart, and then that becomes a constant way of existence. So that is one. For those who are not of the Bhakti temperament and they feel very alienated by this idea of constantly praying, they can use the inquiry. So what happens is you ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? And the who am I will do the cleanup job in your mind. If you sincerely ask, who am I? as if you're waiting for the answer, then this inquiry also drops into our heart, because the recognition is possible in inquiry only intuitively, only from the same place. So we remain empty in our heads so that we can remain in our heart in this way by using the inquiry. And we don't have to say, I am this way or that way. Sometimes the prayer will resonate, sometimes the inquiry will resonate, sometimes something else like fresh, open and empty. So many tools will resonate. But the idea is to drop out of our head into our heart, and that must become unceasing. So nobody is going to succeed at it 100%. Everybody, this is going to be a work in progress forever, but every moment that you turn to him, your life is being transformed. Every instant you spend in his light, your life has changed completely from where it was to what it is. So this is the method. Either through inquiry or through constant prayer and devotion, we come to the darshan of the Atma within, the presence of his light within, and then we stay with that for the rest of our life. That then is the complete switch over from the way of the head to the way of the heart, and our life is fully transformed in that process. So the project is clear, the intention is clear, and the method is clear. Now you have to do. Put 100% of yourself into it. Rely only upon God for results. You cannot either claim responsibility, blame, credit for any of the results. The results will come from God alone. So that gist is the whole project of satsang that we are talking about. It's a transformation of our life from a worldly life to a godly life, from a egoic life to a spiritual life. Please help her with the light. Question? Huh? Yes, please. Give the mic.
Hi, this is slightly unrelated to the discussion so far, but can you tell us about how karma operates in this world?
Can't hear, my dear. Can't hear. Because this mic is not connected to the speaker, only through Zoom today.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell us about a little bit about karma and how
About
it
dharma?
operates in the world?
Yeah. Karma. Yes. So, let me start by saying that when we become reliant on God's will, when we are in servitude to God, which means that His presence, His light moves us and it guides us, then that wipes away the predetermined patterns of how the world is functioning. So that is why it is said that when we come to God or when we come to the Guru within, then all our karmas get cut. Karma kat jate hain, they say. So that is the important thing. The less important thing is that this world has a ebb and flow in terms of how it functions. There are certain mechanics which it seems to follow. Now, karma is a simplistic explanation for that which is actually unfathomable, but it's all right. Provisionally, it's all right. So what we have sown, we will reap. All of that is very good to keep us in some sort of check. And for us to not lament too much about why things are happening to us, because we can rely on the fact that it must be a fruit of our karma that it is happening. But I call it provisional and limiting because God is completely free. God is completely free in every moment to unfold this movie, this play, according to His joy, according to His will, however He wants it. But as far as human understanding goes, if you have to ascribe some patterns to why things happen, karma is all right. आप कुछ बोलेंगे? आप कुछ बोलेंगे? No, Mike? Most of you are aware of the Baul tradition, where some of the singers are really popular now. So Anantaji is a Guruji from that tradition, and he's kindly agreed to bless us today with his presence.
Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Sri Guru Paramanande Nitai Gaur Hari Hari Bol. Jai Guru. गुरु कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम गुरुर कृपा ही केवलम गुरुर कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम गुरुर कृपा ही केवलम गुरुर कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम कृष्ण कृपा ही केवलम कृष्ण कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम राधार कृपा ही केवलम राधार कृपा ही केवलम राधार कृपा ही केवलम राधा कृपा ही केवलम गुरुर कृपा ही केवलम गुरुर कृपा ही केवलम गुरुर कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम भक्त कृपा ही केवलम भक्तेर कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम कृष्ण कृपा ही केवलम कृष्ण कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम राधार कृपा ही केवलम राधार कृपा ही केवलम राधार कृपा ही केवलम राधार कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम गुरु कृपा ही केवलम गुरुर कृपा ही केवलम गुरुर कृपा ही केवलम गुरुर कृपा ही केवलम गुरुर कृपा ही केवलम कृष्ण कृपा ही केवलम कृष्ण कृपा ही केवलम कृष्ण कृपा ही केवलम कृष्ण कृपा ही केवलम राधार कृपा ही केवलम राधार कृपा ही केवलम राधार कृपा ही केवलम राधार कृपा ही केवलम गुरु 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 कृपा ही केवलम हरि बोल हरि बोल जय
Next.
हरि बोल हरि बोल दिन तुम्हारा नंदे जाबे জপলে সীতারাম জপ গুরুর নাম জয় সীতারাম জয় জয় সীতারাম দিন তোমার আনন্দে যাবে জপলে সীতারাম জপ গুরুর নাম জয় সীতারাম জয় জয় সীতারাম দিন তোমার আনন্দে যাবে জপলে সীতারাম জপ গুরুর নাম জয় সীতারাম জয় জয় সীতারাম গুরু ব্রহ্মা গুরু বিষ্ণু গুরু শিব রাম গুরু সেবায় মোক্ষ পাবে ধর্ম অর্থ কাম গুরু ব্রহ্মা গুরু বিষ্ণু গুরু শিব রাম গুরু সেবায় মোক্ষ পাবে ধর্ম অর্থ কাম দিন তোমার আনন্দে যাবে জপলে সীতারাম জপ গুরুর নাম জয় সীতারাম জয় জয় সীতারাম আর করো গুরু বাক্য মিটবে মনস্কাম আপন ঘরে দেখতে পাবে আপন আত্মারাম আর করো গুরু বাক্য মিটবে মনস্কাম আপন ঘরে দেখতে পাবে আপন আত্মারাম তোমার আনন্দে যাবে জপলে সীতারাম জপ গুরুর নাম জয় সীতারাম জয় জয় সীতারাম জয় রাম শ্রীরাম জপলে সীতারাম তার কি ভবে ভয় আছে গো যে লয় রামের নাম জয় রাম শ্রীরাম জপলে সীতারাম তার কি ভবে ভয় আছে গো যে লয় রামের নাম তোমার আনন্দে যাবে জপলে সীতারাম জপ গুরুর নাম জয় সীতারাম জয় জয় সীতারাম তোমার আনন্দে যাবে জপলে সীতারাম জপ গুরুর নাম জয় সীতারাম জয় জয় সীতারাম সমন দমন রাবণ রাজা রাবণ দমন রাম কারো দর্প নাহি রাখে দর্প হারি রাম সমন দমন রাবণ রাজা রাবণ দমন রাম কারো দর্প নাহি রাখে দর্প হারি রাম তোমার আনন্দে যাবে জপলে সীতারাম জপ গুরুর নাম জয় সীতারাম জয় জয় সীতারাম মেঘে বরণে রাজীব লোচন দুর্বাদল শ্যাম সরজু কিনারে বসে যে লয় রামের নাম মেঘে বরণে রাজীব লোচন দুর্বাদল শ্যাম সরজু কিনারে বসে যে লয় রামের নাম তোমার আনন্দে যাবে জপলে সীতারাম জপ গুরুর নাম জয় সীতারাম জয় জয় সীতারাম তোমার আনন্দে যাবে জপলে সীতারাম গুরুর নাম জয় সীতারাম জয় জয় সীতারাম তোমার আনন্দে যাবে জপলে সীতারাম জপ গুরুর নাম জয় সীতারাম জয় জয় সীতারাম জয় গুরু জয় গুরু হরি বল হরি বল দস্যু রত্নাকর সারা জীবন অনেক পাপ করেছিল, অনেক পাপ। I'm sorry, I cannot speak English, so I am telling little story about Doshu Ratnakar.
She'll come in 1 minute. Anybody else Bengali?
মানে এত পাপ করেছে, পাপের পাহাড় হয়ে গেছে আর কি।
A mountain of sins he has committed.
সারা জীবন পাপ কর্ম করে তার ফ্যামিলিকে বাঁচিয়ে রেখেছিল, প্রত্যেকে খাবার দিয়েছে।
Okay.
তো একদিন এত পাপ করেছে,
He had given food to all his family members.
with পাপ কর্ম।
Yeah.
So one day he asked,
Yeah.
so I am doing so many pap karma in my life.
Yeah.
So who can share with me this karma? And family says no, we can't share with you this karma. Because it's you. So then he asked, what is my solution? What is my তাহলে আমার মুক্তি কোথায়? কিভাবে আমি মুক্তি পাবো? এই কর্ম যদি করলাম, মুক্তি কি?
How will I find freedom? How will I find freedom?
তখন ও চিন্তা করলো, তাহলে তো আমি জীবনে অনেক ভুল করেছি, এই কর্ম করে আমার সবাইকে খাইয়েছি দিয়েছি, এখন তো আমার কর্মের ভাগ কেউ নেবে না।
So then,
মুক্তির উপায় কি?
I missed the story, so I don't know the context, but
This man, he committed a lot of crimes, and then out of that money he used to feed his family members. And how is he going to practice?
so then he thought that I have done a lot of crimes or mistakes or sins. আবার বলুন কি বলছিলেন? তাহলে আমি ভাবলাম যে আপনি বললেন না লাস্ট সেন্টেন্সটা কি বললেন?
হ্যাঁ, মানে দস্যু রত্নাকর একদিন নিজে অনুভব করলো যে আমি পাপ কর্ম করে যে আমি এতদিন সবাইকে খাওয়ালাম দাওয়ালাম, বড় করলাম, মানুষ করলাম,
আচ্ছা,
তাহলে আমার মুক্তির উপায় কি?
আচ্ছা, so then he thought one day that I've committed so many sins and raised my family, and they are saying that I will not take we are not part of your sins. So
All of this for them to
yes. So I did all of this for them, but they are not going to take part in my sins. So how am I supposed to find freedom?
তো ও ঘুরতে ও তখন বাড়ি থেকে বেরিয়ে গেল আর কি। ও মুক্তির সন্ধান করছে, যে আমার কিভাবে মুক্তি হবে তাহলে।
So he left home in search of mukti or freedom.
তো ঘুরতে শিবের কাছে গিয়ে পৌঁছালো আর কি।
So he went to Shiva.
তো শিবের কাছে গিয়ে বলছে যে আমি তো জীবনে অনেক পাপ কর্ম করে আমার ফ্যামিলিকে সবাইকে খাইয়েছি, বড় করেছি, এখন তো আমার পাপের ভাগ কেউ নেবে না বলছে, তাহলে আমার
Shiva, that I have committed so many sins and raised my family, but nobody's going to take part in it and nobody's going to share it with me. So how should I find freedom?
তখন শিব বলছে, ওরে বাবা, এই ভাগ তো আমিও তো নিতে পারবো না।
So Shiv said, oh my, even I can't take this burden.
তো তুমি রামের কাছে যাও।
So go to Ram.
তখন ও ঘুরতে রামের কাছে পৌঁছেছে।
So he finally reached Ram.
তো রামের কাছে গিয়ে এই কথাই বলছে,
So
প্রভু, তাহলে আমার মুক্তির উপায় কি? আমি জীবনে অনেক পাপ করেছি, আমি পাপের পাহাড় করেছি। পাপের পাহাড় করেছো? বলছে হ্যাঁ, আমি অনেক পাপের পাহাড় করেছি, আমার এই ভাগ কেউ নিতে চাইছে, তারপর মুক্তির উপায়।
So he requested Ram also for mukti, like how do I get freedom from all my sins?
তখন বলছে যে তুমি যে পাপের যে পাহাড় করেছো, সেই পাহাড়ে তুমি যাও, সেই পাহাড়ে বসে শুধু রাম নাম জপ করো।
So Sri Ram told him that the mountain of sins that you have created, you climb on it and just you go on it and just chant the name of Ram.
মানে জীবনে অনেক মানুষ খুন করেছে, অনেক মানুষকে আক্রমণ করেছে, অনেক মানুষের ক্ষতি করেছে। তো সেই পাহাড়ে গিয়ে ও তখন বসে রাম নাম করতে বলেছে, কিন্তু ওর মুখে রাম নাম কিছুতেই উচ্চারণ হচ্ছে না।
কেন হচ্ছে না?
উচ্চারণ হচ্ছে না এই কারণে ও তো প্রচুর মানুষ খুন করেছে, প্রচুর মানুষ মেরেছে, সেসব পাহাড় হয়ে গেছে, সব ডেড বডি পাহাড়।
আচ্ছা, তো নিতে পারছে না নামটা।
তখন চোখ বন্ধ করে দেখছে চারিদিকেই মরা, শুধু মরা,
আচ্ছা,
শুধু মরা, জ্যান্ত কিছুই দেখতে পাচ্ছে না।
So what happened is
জীবন দেখতে পাচ্ছে না, শুধু মরা দেখছে চারিদিকে।
After Ram told him to chant his name after climbing the mountain of his sins, and all he could see after climbing was all the terrible sins that he had committed, and he could not utter the name of Ram at all. It was just not coming on his tongue.
তো কিছুতেই রাম উচ্চারণ মুখে হচ্ছে না, তো শুধু তখন আবার চিন্তা করছে, খালি আমি আবার রামের কাছে ফিরে যাই, কেন আমার মুখ দিয়ে এই ভাষাটা উচ্চারণ হচ্ছে না, রাম নাম কেন বেরোচ্ছে না, আমি কি এমন পাপ কর্ম করেছি যে শুধু রাম নাম আমার মুখ দিয়ে বেরোচ্ছে না। আবার রামের কাছে ফিরে গেছে।
So he went back to Ram to ask him why I'm not able to, have I committed so much, so many sins that I can't take that Ram name, in my lips.
তো রাম জিজ্ঞেস করছে কি উচ্চারণ হচ্ছে, তোমার রাম নাম যখন উচ্চারণ হচ্ছে মুখ দিয়ে তোমার কি বেরোচ্ছে? বলছে আমি তো চারিদিকে শুধু মরা দেখছি, মরা, শুধু মৃত দেখছি, ডেড বডি দেখছি।
So Ram asked him, so what's happening, like what are you uttering? So he said, all I see is mora, like mora is dead in Hindi or Bengali, so that all I'm seeing is mara or mora.
তো বলছে তোমার মুখ দিয়ে যেটাই উচ্চারণ হচ্ছে সেটাই তুমি জপ করো।
So Ram told him that whatever's coming, just say that. Even if it's mora, then just keep saying mora.
তখন আবার ফিরে এসে সেই পাপের পাহাড়ে বসে ও শুধু মরা মরা মরা, চারিদিকে শুধু মরা, মৃত।
So he comes back on top of the mountain of his sins and starts to chant mora mora mora.
তো এরকম মরা মরা 60,000 বছরও তপস্যা করেছিল, 60,000 বছর।
60,000 years.
So he chanted this for 60,000 years. Mara mara mara.
তারপরে শেষের দিকে আর কি, যখন মানে সাধনায় যখন এবার সিদ্ধি লাভ হবে আর কি, ওটা তো একটা সাধনা, তপস্যা, তিনি তপস্যা করছেন, মরা মরা মরা, চারিদিকে শুধু, যেহেতু বহু মানুষকে মেরেছে কর্ম করে, মরা মরা করতে শেষের দিকে তখন ওর রাম 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 রাম, তখন মুখ দিয়ে রাম নাম যখন উচ্চারণ হলো।
So after 60,000 years of his sadhana of chanting mara 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 mara, then after 60,000 years, towards the end of his tapas or his sadhana, his penance, he could actually say Ram 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 instead of mara mara mara.
তারপর উনি বাল্মীকি হলেন, বাল্মীকি হয়ে রামায়ণ লিখলেন।
So he was the one he was Saint Valmiki, and who wrote Ramayana.
That is the story of Valmiki.
তো উনি একমাত্র ওই অজপা জপ করেছিলেন।
Ruji said he didn't understand English.
Yeah.
He had heard everything I said.
অজপা জপ। আমাদের মধ্যে অজপা জপ চলে, আমরা যেদিন থেকে জন্মেছি, আবার যখন আমরা শেষ হব আর কি, মানে তখন থেকে আমাদের মধ্যে জপ চলছে।
So he's saying that even within us, from the time we are born to the time we die, there is a, what do I say, ajapa in English?
অজপা জপ চলছে।
There is an unceased in the heart. Yeah, like ajapa japa, an automatic unceasing prayer from the heart itself.
মানে কিভাবে চলছে সেটা কিন্তু আমরা কেউ অনুভব করি না।
So he says that we don't recognize it, but it's always there.
তবে যারা মানে এই জগতে যারা এসেছে মানে ভক্তির জগতে প্রেমের জগতে মানে আধ্যাত্মিক জগতে যারা এসেছে তারা একটু একটু অনুভব করে
So the ones who
সাধারণ
are,
মানুষ অনুভব করতে পারে না
so the ones who come into spirituality or bhakti or gyan or love, they start to recognize the ajapa japa that happens in their heart.
24 ঘন্টায় আমাদের জপ হয়
All 24 hours, this jap happens within us, whether we notice or we don't.
সেই জপটা কি মানে আমাদের মধ্যে একটা অচিন পাখি আছে অচিন পাখি
অচিন মানে
কেউ দেখতে পায় না
ancient pakhi. Acha.
অচিন পাখি আছে আমাদের মধ্যে
Acha.
সেই পাখিকে কেউ দেখতে পায় না
So he says that there's a bird. Then he says there's an ancient bird within us that none of us can see.
সে শুধু যাওয়া আসা করে
And it just keeps coming and going.
তো সেটাই হচ্ছে আমাদের মানে অজপা জপ আর কি এই যে শ্বাস প্রশ্বাস চলে না
Sorry.
আমাদের মধ্যে যে শ্বাস প্রশ্বাস চলে 24 ঘন্টার মধ্যে 21,600 বার এই যে শ্বাস প্রশ্বাস আসা যাওয়া করে 21,600 বার যদি আমরা দুভাগ করি তাহলে আসছে আর যাচ্ছে আর কি
So he's saying the breath that happens within us 21,600 times in a day.
এটাই হচ্ছে অজপা জপ
That is the ajapa jap. That is the automatic prayer chant that's happening within us.
তবে এটা অনুভব করে কারে যারা আমরা এই জগতে যারা আছি যারা আপনারা সৎসঙ্গে আজকের দিনে যারা এসেছেন যোগ দিয়েছেন এবং খুব আন্তরিকভাবে আপনারা এই যোগ দিয়েছেন আমি কিছু শুনবো কিছু জানবো তারপরে আমি সেটাকে অভ্যাস করব অভ্যাস যোগে পরিণত করব এই আশা নিয়েই তো আমরা সবাই এসেছি এখানে
So the ones who come to satsang or into spirituality and deeply want to be in it, they recognize this. They start to recognize this a little bit.
তো এই সঙ্গ একদিন করলে তো হবে না মানে দীর্ঘদিন এই সঙ্গ করতে হবে চেষ্টা করতে আমি যতদিন বাঁচবো ততদিন আমি এই সঙ্গের মধ্যেই থাকবো এটাই আমার জীবন এটাই আমার আহার এটাই আমার নিত্যা
So this is not a one day endeavor. It's like a lifelong process. And
এটার মধ্যে নিষ্ঠা থাকতে হবে এটার মধ্যে ভক্তি থাকতে হবে এটার মধ্যে প্রেম থাকতে হবে এর মধ্যে বিশ্বাস থাকতে হবে
so then you should move with faith and love and nishtha. Nishtha is what? Sincerity and faith and devotion.
কেন এই পথ অনেক দুর্গম পথ বহু রাস্তা মানে কত হাজার মাইল আমাদের আমরা হয়তো সেটাকে করতে পারবো না কাউন্ট করতে পারবো
It's a long route to the destination and
সেটা
difficult.
একদিনে পৌঁছানো সম্ভব নয়
It's not.
এই জন্য দীর্ঘদিন আমাদের পথ চলতে হবে
It's a long process. It's a long process. Not possible to reach in one day.
ভগবানকে পাওয়া তো এত সহজ নয় তার জন্য অনেক ত্যাগ স্বীকার করতে হয়
So it's you can't find God so easily. You have to surrender, tyag.
যিনি নিজেকে ত্যাগ স্বীকার করে সব কিছু মানে সঁপে দিয়েছেন আত্মসমর্পণ আর কি মানে ফুললি আত্মসমর্পণ তার প্রতি ভগবানের একটু করুণা হয় কৃপা হয়
So the one who fully, completely surrenders his everything to God, then God shows his compassion on that being.
আমার খুবই ভালো লাগলো ভালো লাগছে আপনাদেরকে মানে এত সুন্দর সুন্দর মানে স্বরূপ আর কি স্বরূপ দর্শন করে আমার খুব মনের আনন্দ হচ্ছে আর কি আমার মধ্যে একটা মানে প্রেমের সঞ্চার হচ্ছে সবাইকে দেখে
So he's enjoying everybody's presence here, and he feels a lot of love because of it.
It's always such a privilege and pleasure to and we were singing God's presence was lighting up so strongly in our hearts.
So উনি বলছেন যে আপনি যখন আসেন খুবই ভালো লাগে মানে
না আমারও খুব ভালো লাগে
আর আপনি যখন গান গাইছিলেন তখন ঠাকুরের লাইট মানে it was very খুব clearly ছিল সবার মধ্যে।
আমাদের যে আশ্রমে যে সৎসঙ্গগুলো হয় ওগুলো গান গান বাজনার মাধ্যমে সৎসঙ্গ হয়।
Yes.
মানে বহু রকমের মানে ভগবানের নাম কীর্তন আছে।
So he's from the tradition of Baul singing, and in their ashram the sadhana is the Baul singing itself.
আমাদের বিখ্যাত একজন মানে সাধক সাধক ভবা পাগলা মাতৃ সাধক, উনি একটা গানে বলেছেন যে গানই সর্বশ্রেষ্ঠ সাধনা, লাগে না ফুল চন্দন, আমার ফুলও লাগে না চন্দনও লাগে না কিছুই লাগে না, লাগে না ফুল চন্দন তন্ত্র মন্ত্র কিছুই লাগে না, আমার কোনো মন্ত্রও লাগে না কোনো তন্ত্রও লাগে না, গানই সর্বশ্রেষ্ঠ সাধনা। গানের মাধ্যম দিয়ে সুরের মাধ্যম দিয়ে ভগবানের কাছে মানে একটু সহজে পৌঁছানো যায় যদি কারো সেই মানে অটুট ভক্তি নিষ্ঠা অনুরাগ ভালোবাসা তার প্রতি থাকে, তাহলে সঙ্গীতের মধ্যে দিয়ে গেলে একটু সহজে।
So he says that in their lineage there is a famous Baul singer who said that singing is an easy way to get to God if the one who is singing has the devotion and the love and the nishtha, the sincerity to God. Yeah, and you don't need anything else. Then you don't need any other processes. No sandalwood and no mantra, no tantra.
গানই সর্বশ্রেষ্ঠ সাধনা, এটা সাধক ভবা পাগলা বলেছে।
কি নাম ওনার?
সাধক ভবা পাগলা।
সাধক
ভবা
পাগলা। আমি কয়েকদিন, I'm sorry, I just have to ask about that. কয়েকদিন ধরে আমি পার্বতী বলের গান শুনছি, মানে ওনার ইন্টারভিউ ওইসব অনেক দিন ধরে শুনছি, ভালো লাগলো শুনে। So lately I've been listening to another Baul singer. Her name is Parvati Baul, and just her interviews really touched my heart. খুব ভালো লাগলো।
ওনার আশ্রম আর আমাদের আশ্রম মানে কাছাকাছি,
so they
সব সময় আমাদের যোগাযোগ থাকে।
So nice. So he's saying that and she lives in Shantiniketan also, so their ashrams are very close by, and উনি সারা পৃথিবীতে ঘুরে বেড়ান, and she goes all around the world, very very deep.
কিছুদিন আগে 4-5 দিন আগে একটা সৎসঙ্গ হলো ওনার আশ্রমে, ওখানে ছিলাম। বৃন্দাবন থেকে একজন গুরুজি এসেছিলেন, সঙ্গে দুজন ভক্ত ছিলেন, খুবই সুন্দর সৎসঙ্গের একটা সুন্দর কাটলো।
So there's some days back they had someone come from Vrindavan and they had very beautiful satsang.
What is your favorite song? Pick one. We can close with that.
Advaita Krishna.
আমি গত জুলাই মাসে যখন ব্যাঙ্গালোর এসেছিলাম, তখন খ্রিস্তে এবং জোহানা ওনারাই ঠিক করলো যে, জোহানা বললো যে তুমি ব্যাঙ্গালোরে যখন আসো আমার গুরুজির সঙ্গে গিয়ে মিট করো, তাই আসার সুযোগ হয়েছিল।
Last time when he came in July, Joanna and Kriste, they were the ones to tell him that I go here.
Last song?
Who's singing?
O kajol brahmora, O hiroshi brahmora, yosho. O kajol brahmora, O hiroshi brahmora, yosho. তুমি যখন তখন হাইসা কাছে, তুমি যখন তখন হাইসা কাছে, আর মরে জ্বালায় না সময় মনে গান গায় না। ও কাজল রমরা, ও রসি রমরা, এই যে আমার সারাং গাছে নতুন নতুন ফুল ফুটেছে, এই যে আমার সারাং গাছে নতুন নতুন ফুল ফুটেছে, তুমি চুপি তুমি চুপি চুপি, তুমি চুপি চুপি হাইসা কাছে, ফুলের মধু খায় না সময় মনে গান গায় না। ও কাজল রমরা, ও হিরোশি রমরা, সময় মনে গান গায় না, মনে গান গায় না। আইসঙ্গহিনী সকালে ধীরে ধীরে বৈশলালে, আইসঙ্গহিনী সকালে ধীরে ধীরে বৈশলালে, তুমি দেখো দেখো, তুমি দেখো জানো ফুল না যারে ডাল ভাঙিয়া যায় না সময় মনে গান গায় না। ও কাজল রমরা, ও রসি রমরা, সময় মনে গান গায় না।
ভগবান শ্রীকৃষ্ণ রসিক ভ্রমরা। ভগবান শ্রীকৃষ্ণ রসিক ভ্রমরা।
The God Krishna, he's the one who is bringing the rasa, the nectar, the nectar. He's the bee who's bringing the nectar.
অসময়ে গুন 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 গান গাইও না। গানের কথাটা হচ্ছে ও রসিক ভ্রমরা, ও কাজল ভ্রমরা, অসময়ে গুন 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 গান গাইও না।
Gun 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 is like the sound of bee.
So the singer asks, "Oh the black bee, please don't come in the wrong time. It's not the time yet. Don't make your sound on this. It's not the good time." অসময়
অসময়ে গুনগুন গান গাইবে।
Has to be timely.
Yeah.
So it can't just become all like fun. It has to be the right.
এই যে আমার সারা গাছে নতুন নতুন ফুল ফুটেছে, রাধারানী বলছে আর কি, পুরো গানটাই রাধারানী বলছে ভগবান শ্রীকৃষ্ণকে যে তুমি তো রসিক ভ্রমরা, তুমি তো কালো ভ্রমর, মানে কাজল ভ্রমরা, কালো রং তোমার, আর তুমি অত্যন্ত রসিক, তোমার রস আস্বাদন করবার জন্য গোপীরা অপেক্ষা করছে, তোমার তো কোনো সময় জ্ঞান নেই, যখন তখন তুমি আসো।
He's not like complaining. That's what I heard. From what I understood, is correct. So the gopis are complaining that you are full of fun-loving and you are. Radha is complaining that, but it can't be all the time like this. You have to have some sense of control. What are you doing? It can't just be full on all the time. No, sir. The joy, the bliss can't just be full on like this all the time.
The song goes like, "This is my tree, and a new flower on the tree is opening." So very beautiful, with so many sweet flowers.
Radha's not the one who said.
Like it's a sweet complaint. It's not like
In this song, is Radha or Bhakti? She's speaking to the black bees. Sri Krishna.
She's like she's a bigger Krishna, the black. He's black.
He's dark.
Bee.
Oh, she's the tree, the flower, and
No, she said, "No, I'm like a tree with so many flowers." He's crazy.
নতুন নতুন ফুল ফুটেছে, তুমি চুপি চুপি আয়সা বসে, মানে কেউ যেন জানতে না পারে, তুমি এমন ভাবে আসবে, তুমি চুপি চুপি এসে যেন ফুলের মধু খেয়ে চলে যেও না।
You come very like secretive.
ফুলের মধু খাইও না।
But not yet. But you don't drink yet the nectar. You don't touch the nectar yet, the bee. I'm here swimming, but don't touch yet. It's Oshamar, it's not the good.
it's not time. Okay, we have to also sing happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, আমার বার্থডে, জয় মা, জয় মা, জয় মা। জ্যোতিমা,
Yes.
হ্যাপি বার্থডে।
Thank you so much.
Very good, very good. I didn't know. I didn't know. জয় শ্রীকৃষ্ণ, জয় শ্রীকৃষ্ণ, জয় শ্রীকৃষ্ণ, জয় শ্রীরাম। Happy birthday. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Guru Divine. So Ananta Babaji going to practice.
Can you make the words you say? No, he has to say. Yeah. He's got the Majira, no?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jyotima. Happy birthday to you. May Guruji bless you. May Guruji bless you. Happy birthday, dear Jyotima. Happy birthday to you.
Follow me.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nande bolo jai Guru jai. Anande 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 bolo jai Guru jai.
ভগবান জয় জনার্দন জগ জন প্রাণ জয় ভগত জয় ভগবান জয় জনার্দন জগ জন প্রাণ জয় গোপী বল্লভ মদন গোপাল জয় গোপী বল্লভ মদন গোপাল জয় সৎ গুরু কৃপা জয় 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 আনন্দে বলো জয় গুরু 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 জয় জয় দীন বন্ধু জয় গোপীনাথ জয় জগবন্ধু জানকীনাথ জয় দীন বন্ধু জয় গোপীনাথ জয় জগবন্ধু জানকীনাথ জয় ব্রজ কিশোর জয় শ্রীনাথ জয় ব্রজ কিশোর জয় শ্রীনাথ জয় সৎ গুরু কৃপা জয় 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 সদ্গুরু কৃপা জয় 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 আনন্দে বলো জয় গুরু 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 জয় জয় ভগত জয় ভগবান জয় জনার্দন জগ জন প্রাণ জয় ভগত জয় ভগবান জয় জনার্দন জগ জন প্রাণ জয় গোপী বল্লভ মদন গোপাল জয় গোপী বল্লভ মদন গোপাল জয় সৎ গুরু কৃপা জয় 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 সৎ গুরু কৃপা জয় 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 আনন্দে বলো জয় গুরু 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 জয় 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 নামে জম করা জয় 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 নামে জম করা জয় মনের আনন্দে বলো জয় গুরু জয় 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 গুরুর 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 জয়
Paramanandinitai Gauri Hari Hari Bol. Jati Mai ki Jai. Jati Mai ki Jai. Jati Mai ki Jai. Anantaji ki Jai. Ananda Bol ki Jai. Kriste ki Jai. अनंत बाबा जी की जय, भक्त संघ की जय, हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, जय गुरु श्री गुरु जय, भगवान श्री जय, राम चंद्र जय। खूब सुंदर, खूब सुंदर, जय गुरु।
Well taken care of in the accommodations.
जन्म जन्मांतर में सवाल का सिर सवाल की बड़ा कोशिश करते शांति के आनंद
I have one more like birthday cake. It's from some prasad from Ramakrishna Ashram from his birthday. From his birthday. So,
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Ramakrishna Bhakti is he born Jairam Bhakti Tapan city.
Like peacock. And I mean Krishna's beautiful color. It's like peacock color. Krishna's